Yep. Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. It's wonderful to have you along for the ride. Despite the subject matter, which is the Philadelphia Phillies are on the brink of elimination while facing division rival New York Mets. I feel stupid is what I feel. Like, we've watched the Phillies be the Mets, essentially, over the last 2 years. Not exactly the best team in baseball, wire to wire, or anything close to that, but just kind of getting hot at the right time. And it really is amazing. If you're looking for a line of demarcation for, oh, wow, the Phillies aren't that great, and, oh, wow, the Mets could be putting something together. I'm not blaming the London trip. I have never believed in that. Look what the Mets have done since then, and this is a shining example of it. And now they're one loss away from losing to these Mets. But if you're looking for a line of demarcation, it's right around there, around that June 8th London series. That's pretty terrible. It's not because of it, but it's a good starting point. Now the Phillies had struggled before that. I've referenced many times. I think it's May 26th. When the Phillies played the Rockies, and they also played the San Francisco Giants. They were on the road for that, and they weren't playing great baseball. And that was really the first time I remember looking at the Phillies this year going like, okay, they're going to have a little rough patch here. They're not going to be fantastic all year. That, for me, is really when it started. But as far as both these teams having the about face, the Phillies from being a phenomenal team to a damn near 500 team, and the Mets being a terrible team to one of the hottest teams in baseball team, it was that London series. It was right there in the second week of June, if you will. And what we were worried about this entire season, I should say since June, is exactly what we're watching, which is the sequel to the Philadelphia Eagles 2023. The way that season ended with that great record, and then, nothing. And then the Phillies having this great record, and now, bang, they are one Ranger Suarez start away from losing in their first round, one and done, essentially, one playoff series and done against the New York Mets, who have OMG and Grimace as their rallying cries. Cool. Last night's game was a real shot in the gut. As I'm watching Aaron Nola, I told you guys yesterday, I was like, you're going to get 7 innings from Nola tonight. He's going to give him 2 solo home runs, and then the offense is going to come alive for 4. That's what I felt. You're going to win 4-2. That's not what happened. Yeah, you lost 7-2. Aaron Nola gave up the 7 home runs. Aaron Nola was looking pretty damn good going into the 6th inning, pitch count-wise. And I thought, okay, he might give me the 7. And then the 6th inning, the wheels came off for Nola, and he gave up a leadoff single to Mark Vientos. Then he walked back-to-back batters. All of a sudden, bases were loaded, and they go to the bullpen. Edmundo Sosa booting that ball. Now, don't worry, I'm getting to the offense. But there's so many things that annoyed me offensively. Defensively, there are things that annoyed me. But this was the one play in particular where everything was over after this. Edmundo Sosa gets a double play ball. Rob Thompson was asked about this after the game, and he said, it's a good question. I got to see the overhead view. I didn't see the overhead view yet. I don't know if it would have been a double play. I said this immediately on the postcast last night, and I'll say it again now. Let me help everybody here. Let me help everyone. It was a double play ball. Edmundo Sosa fields that ball cleanly. He has a very easy 2-3 double play. Actually, it would have been 4-2-3 double play. And then all of a sudden, bases ain't loaded anymore, and you got 2 outs. Very next batter was Jesse Winker. Jesse Winker flies out to left field. Assuming everything goes as it did after the would-be double play ball, you're out of the inning. No run score. Nola's off the hook. He's got 5 innings and 2 runs charged to him. And the offense still has a shot. Now, as the game went on, we found out the offense had no shot, unfortunately. But that's where it really felt like the wheels came off for this game. All hope was extinguished. Game goes on. Bullpen allows runs. Carlos Estevez allows runs. It was gut-wrenching, unfortunately. Absolutely. Again, watching this Mets team beat up on the Phillies. And to know that the Phillies would have no answer offensively. And I remember saying in the sixth inning of game 2, the Pete Alonso home run felt like a 10-run homer. Well, the 2 runs across the plate in this game, after the bases loaded jam, nobody out jam, and they got 2 more runs across the plate on the Starling Marte 2-run single to center field. That felt like a 10-run single, if you will, because you just knew that the Phillies offense is shot. And the Mets just kept adding on. The very next inning, they tack on 2 more. 6-0. That was off it was off of Jose Ruiz, but Alvarado got hit in the foot, and it wasn't the same after that, unfortunately. He got Alvarez to strike out. Then he got Lindor to pop out to Alec Boehm at third. Oh, that's a story. And then Vientos put it off his foot, and then he struggled after that. Whether or not he's hurt, I don't know. But 2 more runs, bottom line, across the plate in that inning. Phillies had an opportunity late in the game, got little from it. Had an opportunity in the 6th inning, got nothing from it. And just looked like the free swingers that we have been so terrified of. And last night, I gave you my 3 big things. To reiterate, I look at the unfortunate fact that Aaron Nola needed to give you ace stuff last night. He did not give you ace stuff last night. He was okay. He wasn't great by any means. Certainly wasn't ace quality by any means. He is not my number 1 blame, but the 2 home runs, that's what I expected. Seeing him get barreled through the first 4 innings of the game, 3 innings of the game, really wasn't fantastic. A lot of hard hit balls against Aaron Nola. He was lucky that a lot of them were directly at players, fortunately. He was lucky Nick Castellanos was there to make the play against the wall in right field on the play that they originally said he dropped. And then he, of course, corralled. He did catch it, and he lost it on the transfer, which I thought was obvious as all hell watching it live. And then Alvarez had one off the wall where Austin Hayes was able to keep him to a single, but that was tattooed. There's a bunch of barreling instances there, unfortunately, from Aaron Nola that fortunately ended up not hurting the Phils, but it let me know that he wasn't exactly on top of his game. And then, of course, the home runs and then the bases loaded situation in the 6th inning just can't happen. Phillies had an opportunity to get out of it, as I mentioned, and they didn't. The second thing I look at is the Edmundo Sosa play that I just highlighted. And then the number 1 thing that I look at from last night's game that was the most frustrating thing was, again, this immensely paid, this well-paid, this very rich and wealthy offense, these bats getting nothing done in the game. Nothing. And I had hope after the first inning. I know it was a 1-2-3 inning. But after that first inning, I was like, okay, you got 16 pitches there on Minaya. Schwarber worked a good at bat there, 8 pitches. Let's go. Let's get something going here, okay? Then he had a 1-2-3 inning there from Aaron Nola in the bottom of the first inning. We're like, okay, let's get something going. Then another 1-2-3. It should be Real Muto got hit by a pitch. That was your first base runner in the 2nd inning. But other than that, nothing. 3rd inning, Sosa gets hit by a pitch. You get the leadoff runner on. Rojas tries to lay down a bunt. Nothing doing. He ends up striking out. Schwarber strikes out on a high fastball. Turner gets a single. You got 1st and 2nd. You got 2 outs. Harper steps up to the plate, sees 3 sweepers. 3 is his magic number in this game. Sees 3 sweepers, grounds one out to Minaya. That was that. Going to the 4th inning, Castellanos steps up to the plate. He flies out to left field, sees 7 pitches. He actually worked it at bat. All right there, Nick Castellanos. Then Alec Boehm. There's a lot that's really been brought up about Alec Boehm lately. I don't know. I don't think this is his last game as a Philly. I don't think this is his last series as a Philly. But people are really making a lot about Alec Boehm getting back. He's not playing well. He's not hitting well. And no, I don't think he's 100% healthy. And I think he's trying way too hard. What did you see? 6 pitches last night in his 4 at-bats? That's pretty terrible. But this was a perfect example of him trying to do too much. Puts one off the wall in right center field and then tries to stretch it into a double. He gets thrown out. Nothing doing there. 6th inning. Phillies have probably their best opportunity of the ball game, first and second. Nobody out on Manaea. Schwarber and Turner lead off the inning with walks. Harper, again, 3 pitches, strikes out, changeup, sweeper. Castellanos lines out and gets Schwarber doubled off second base there. I think Nick Castellanos summed it up rather well after the game.
Well, as a group, this is the closest to death we're ever going to get. So in a way, we should feel the most alive. We're only promised tomorrow, and this is what we've been working since spring training for, to have this opportunity. And it's just one more time to show out and leave everything on the field, and however the dice is going to land, it's going to land.
Sound courtesy NBC Sports Philadelphia. First part of that one more time.
Well, as a group, this is the closest to death we're ever going to get.
After that 6th inning, I felt dead. I don't know how you felt, but I felt pretty dead after that 6th inning. Again, back-to-back walks to start out the inning. Schwarber, who didn't even get a hit last night, had the best at-bats of the game. This one, he was down 0-2. Works the full count, works the walk. Trey Turner comes out, I believe it was a 5-pitch walk. First and second, no out. Harper goes down. Castellanos lines out to second for the double play with Schwarber. That's where I felt dead inside. It was if that ball finds its way to the outfield, you're at least scoring a run there. They're at least scoring a run. It becomes a 2-1 baseball game. But leave it to the bottom of the 6th inning for it to all of a sudden become a 4-0 game. Phillies had more opportunities there on the top of the 8th inning. Sosa led off with a single, an infield single to third. Weston Wilson was called to pinch hit for Rojas. Then they ended up going to the pen. Manaea went out. Maton came in. Marsh struck out on the 3-2 sinker. Schwarber worked another walk. Turner grounded out on a comebacker to Maton. Second and third with 2 outs. Harper gets the RBI single. Schwarber doesn't score. It's 6-0 at this point, so I'm not going to split hairs over this, but I was a little surprised they didn't send Schwarber. And then I realized it was Tyrone Taylor in right field who made the great throw to get Alec Boehm. So they probably weren't going to test him again. Plus, it's Schwarber running, even though it's 2 outs. Then Maytown went out. Stanek came in. Castellanos got the RBI single to left. And then Boehm, 1 pitch. Lines out to center field. That ended it. 8th inning, they had another run across the plate, 7-2. And nothing doing in the 8th inning, or 9th inning, excuse me. This is, I mean, really, I've joked before about why we have trust issues as Philadelphia sports fans, and I know a lot of sports fans have trust issues, but good God. You are what your record says you are. Right? That's what people say, right? This is a great win for people who hate analytics because you just got to be playing well. Like, I know it sounds so simple, but it's pretty simple. You just got to be playing well. You got to be playing hot baseball. You got to be playing your best baseball. Phillies haven't been playing their best baseball. And what really sucks is a guy that I feel like really takes a lot of the blame and a lot of the criticism is Nick Castellanos, and he's been your best hitter. Like, certainly your most consistent hitter. If you're telling me you're going to get a 275 to 285 batting average from Nick Castellanos, if you're telling me you're getting 20-plus home runs, if you're telling me that you're getting an on-base percentage from Nick Castellanos, this is not a good on-base percentage, but for Nick Castellanos, a 330 on-base percentage, I feel pretty happy about that. And that's pretty much what you've been getting from Nick Castellanos for the last 5 months. And also, he won a game for you in this series. He got another RBI last night. I know it's late, but there's not a lot of other guys that I have confidence in this lineup. And I mentioned this yesterday, and I'll drive this point home again. I like Bryce Harper a lot. So this isn't coming from someone who just waits for him to fail every time, but the talk about him being like the most clutch athlete ever, like, seriously, I thought you had to like win a championship before you even enter that conversation, because he had his opportunities last night to do some damage and he didn't do it. That's not clutch. That's the opposite of clutch. Now, you can talk about the RBI single that he had late in the game. Okay, it was 6-0, so 6-1 now isn't clutch. But the 6th inning where he stepped up to the plate with 2 runners on and nobody out, and he goes down on 3 pitches. Look, they had the mound conference with Sean Manaea in that 6th inning. Harper was sitting dead red fastball for the first pitch, and he wound up and almost corkscrewed himself into the ground after flailing away out that changeup. Good pitch by Manaea. I think the only thing is, I think Harper has to realize there's no way he's getting a fastball. No way he's getting a fastball. Swings over top of it. He's a day early swinging at it. And then there's 2 sweepers that he just chases. 3 pitches, bing, bang, boom, down. And then Castellanos, I think I might have even mentioned this too. Hit the ball on the screws, so to speak, as they say, right? I thought it was a softly hit liner to second. It ended up being the double play ball, but that was that. And then the Phillies had some chances there in the 8th inning, but it was already, like I said, 6-0. I am really just, somebody said it in the chat last night, I'm not angry, I'm disappointed. I'm definitely both when it comes to this Phillies team. I'm angry and I'm extremely disappointed because I got to watch this. I got to watch the Eagles go through what they went through last year. They continue those mistakes this year, which is a whole other story. I got to watch the 76ers get bounced out against the New York Knicks. Cool. And now I got to watch the Philadelphia Phillies get bounced out against the Mets. The Mets, the OMG guys, the Grimace Mets. I got to watch a team be one of the best in baseball for the majority of the season, exit in the first round. Spoiler for the prediction that I usually get to around the end of the show. Hey, look, I don't think Ranger Suarez has been god-awful since he's come back. He hasn't been good. I mean, if you're comparing him to what he did in the early portions of the year to the later portions of the year, yeah, it's terrible. But overall, what you've seen from Ranger Suarez is certainly not crisp stuff. In his last start, that was terrible. That was against the Washington Nationals. 6 runs, 2 innings. Then you saw him go out there for 5 innings in 3 consecutive starts. 2 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs. The last start was awful. The last start was, almost 2 weeks ago? I'm going to cross my fingers that he's got something in his hat today because the Phillies are going to need it, but I don't have confidence in it. And here's the thing. Let's go the realistic route. This is realistic for Ranger Suarez. His second to last start of the season, he faced these New York Mets. The Phillies lost the game 6-3. He went 5 innings. He had 2 runs on 5 hits. He gave up 2 solo home runs. He used 91 pitches to get through 5 innings. Let's just say that Ranger Suarez goes 5 innings today. Let's say Ranger Suarez gives up 3 runs today. Okay? Do you have confidence that the bullpen's going to come in and slam the door? Do you have confidence that that's going to happen? Do you have confidence that the Phillies are then going to score 4 runs at least to win this game tonight? Mark me down for nope. That's not just a no. That's an emphatic nope. I don't have confidence in that. Now let's go another way. Let's say they do score 4 runs tonight. Okay, let's talk about the series overall. Let's say they score 20 runs tonight. Are the Phillies going to score runs again in Game 5? Are the Phillies going to be able to offensively back up Zach Wheeler in Game 5? No? Okay, I didn't think so either. I hate the word shocked. I feel like for anyone who's been watching sports for as long as you guys have, I have, the word shocked, like really that was shocking to you? That was shocking to you? Very few things shock me. Like Alec Boehm getting benched, honestly, it wasn't shocking to me. He was hitting like 063 for the last week of the season. He was hitting 170 for the last month of the season. That's not great. So watching him struggle, it wasn't that much of a shock, okay? I would be shocked if the Phillies won this series. Shocked if the Phillies won this series. Rob Thompson on his message to the team after the game.
Basically, it's just very simple. You come in here tomorrow. And I told him that's the most resilient club I've ever been around. It's what they're all about. They're all about toughness and fighting and playing together, and that's what we need to do, and just focus on one game.
The 6th inning.
I love that idea. I love the fight. I love the focus on one game. What other choice do you have? Nick Castellanos has you dead, or this close to death. Miss Guzzi. This team has shown fight. They went through the awful struggle that they went through, and they're out. The Yankees went through an awful struggle, and they got the Royals, obviously. But the ability to fight back from wild inconsistency as an offense it seems next to impossible. I mean, if there was ever a game where somebody in this lineup, obviously the number one guy you look at is Bryce Harper, but if there was an opportunity for Bryce Harper to just say, get on my back, boys, here we go, this would be it. Like what Fernando Tatis is doing right now for the Padres. That's pretty nice. Watching what this Phillies team do from an offensive perspective is terrible. And the unreliable pitching isn't helping things either. And that's mostly with the bullpen. Because it's not like the starting pitching has been atrocious. Zach Wheeler certainly gave you a chance to win. Like one hit through 7 innings. Christopher Sanchez gave you 5 innings, 2 runs. Aaron Nola loaded the bases in the 6th inning. Phillies got a double play ball. And so what? They still scored 2 more runs in the inning, and it came off of, unfortunately, Orion Kirkering, but the runs are charged to Aaron Nola. And now you got to rely on a guy who looked like a Cy Young Award winner for the first 3 months of the season, and then absolutely, for whatever reason, injury, losing arm slot, whatever, in July has been not great. He's been a very average 4th, 5th starter in the rotation is what he has been, unfortunately. But now he's your only hope. Because what's the other option? A bullpen game in this scenario? I don't think so. No. This bullpen? No. No, not great. That's like, hey, let's have a home run derby with this offense. Really? They're not really doing it right now. So, no, I don't feel good about the Phillies winning tonight. And no, I don't feel obviously good about the Phillies winning the series. Of course, if they're not going to win tonight, they're done. And that's that. On the other side of things tonight, Jose Quintana is going for the Mets. And when you go back and look at what Quintana has done against the Phillies, well, it's another left-handed pitcher. Hey, by the way, speaking of which, did you guys hear that Sean Manaea changed his arm slot? Like, I knew that going into the game. I've known that for a while. But I forgot it in the 2nd inning. Thank God the Fox broadcast reminded me. And then in the 3rd inning, I guess they thought we forgot again. So they reminded us again. And then they are also like, hey, the Phillies actually moved the pitching machine over because of the arm slot. I'm like, oh, the arm slot again. No way. All right. And then in the 4th inning, they're like, in case you forgot, Sean Manaea changed his arm slot. That was a little annoying. I will say the Tom Verducci story of the remake of Sean Manaea, that was a good story. As a baseball fan, I appreciated that. But Jose Quintana is going to go against the Phillies tonight. He pitched twice against the Milwaukee Brewers. The first time is September 28th, so it was the end of the season. 4 1/3, 2 runs, 5 hits. Then he went against the Brewers in the postseason. 6 innings, 4 hits, 0 runs. Tossed 7 scoreless against the Nationals. Tossed 7 scoreless and 3 hits against the Phillies back on the 13th of September. He's had a nice little run for himself. Overall in the season, he was 10-10 with a 3.75 ERA. He has 3 earned runs since August 25th. 3 earned runs since August 25th, including the postseason. So he's been pretty hot. I wonder if he changed his arm slot. Anyway, yeah. So how you feeling about tonight's game? Because I feel pretty terrible. And then here's the other part, right? So the worst part about even thinking the Phillies could win tonight, like just entertaining that thought for a second, because sports, anything happen, anything's possible. I don't have confidence in them doing it 2 games in a row where they, have consistency, because that would mean consistency, which Phillies have none of. So let's say that they win tonight and that they play Game 5 in South Philly on Friday. You know what I can't take? You know what will make me lose my mind? Is watching the Mets celebrate at Citizens Bank Park. It's a 2-game winning streak against the Mets that the Phillies need. Shouldn't feel like it's impossible, but it feels like it's pretty impossible. Nick Castellanos, you heard him say about being close to death. Nick Castellanos on what you take away from this loss.
I think it's, instead of just flushing it and forgetting it, I think right now it's really important to embrace what the situation is. We lose, we're going home. Baseball's over for us. And, it's a great opportunity, because if we're able to come in and scrape out a win here, I know that they do not want to go back to Philly for a Game 5.
Yeah, I'd love for to have that even confidence that the Mets don't want to go. I know they don't want to, but like you're talking about when you bring up something like that, I think you're talking about a team feeling deflated. As I've said many times already in this series, this is not the New York Mets that we're used to. Whatever it is, and I hate using this term, but magic, they got it. They got the good mojo. They got the good juju. They got the clutch hitting. They got everybody in their lineup contributing. Everybody in their lineup contributing. And if I never see Jesse Winker again, I will be so happy. Oh, God, I can't stand that dude. Like Pete Alonso, I respect. Jesse Winker, not so much. And he had I guess technically upper deck home run yesterday. That was pretty terrible. You're talking about deflating a team with getting into what Nick Castellanos is getting into. Deflating a team. I don't think you can deflate this Mets team. They've been punched. They've been the Rocky Balboa speech about how hard you could get hit and keep moving forward. Yeah, that's what the Mets have done. Phillies 1 loss away from calling it a season. 1 loss away from calling it a season. From tea times and another step backwards. You're talking about 2 wins away from winning a World Series. You're talking about 1 win away from even making the World Series. And now you're talking about an NLDS exit. Not even making it to the NLCS. And then we got to talk about what are you going to do with this team? What's the next step? You got giant contracts here. And I'll tell you something else that really pisses me off. While I'm on the subject of things that piss me off. If you look at the standings, for instance, okay? You take a gander at the standings. The Mets obviously made it in. Barely. They had the tie break over the Diamondbacks. If you don't start Taijuan Walker in that end of September 4-game series against the Mets, maybe you're not facing the Mets. You know what I mean? It's fun. It's crazy to say this. I could stomach another loss to the Diamondbacks because they're not they're not in your division, and I don't hate them as much as I hate the Mets. But if I could go back to one thing. And it's many things, but if I could go back to one little thing that was totally possible to change, it would be not starting Taijuan Walker. Which, by the way, isn't a crazy concept because he sucks. But the Phillies no. His velo was up half a velo, so we're good. It's fine. Oh, 6 runs, 4 home runs? Oh, okay, he's not very good. Shocking. Maybe they should have Sean Manaya'd Taijuan Walker. Let's just rebuild you. Let's do that. We're all having fun. This is fun. Sports are fun. So tonight, 5:08 start time. Phillies take on Jose Quintana. Mets take on Ranger Suarez. Anybody feel good tonight? Anybody feel like, no, they got this? They got this. What was it? The series against I think it was the series against the Cardinals. Was it Cole Hamels going in that game? And everyone was like, Cole's got this. And then nobody had it. Phillies didn't have it. Cole didn't have it. No, it wasn't the Cardinals. I think it was the Reds. I don't know. All I know is we all went into it thinking that Cole got it, and he didn't have it, unfortunately. It's a bit of a rough one. The Philadelphia Eagles, they're back in action this week. Moving on to lighter topics. Like, in all seriousness, do not, like, as far as Eagles, like, here you go. Here's my little rant on records, okay? You had a great record last year with the Eagles. Sixers didn't have Joel Embiid for, the last month and a half, 2 months of the season, whatever it was. No, God, it was even more than that, 3 months. So the record, whatever, but you get bounced out of the first round. Philly's best record in baseball for most of the season. And then the Dodgers kind of took that. And then Phillies are about to get bounced out against the Mets. Dodgers could get bounced out against the Padres. Records really don't matter. The only thing that matters is how you're playing at the end of the year. It's a funny game, and it's been like that for a long time. How you're playing at the end of the year. The one exception is the Eagles in 2017, 2018, before they won the Super Bowl. They didn't look particularly sharp going into the playoffs. They didn't look particularly sharp in the first game in the playoffs against the Falcons, but they got the first round bye. And then after that, they just lit the world on fire. It's pretty awesome. One last thing on the Phillies offense. Sorry, bouncing around, but I think this was after the sixth inning last night. This gentleman, Patrick Gordon of the Philadelphia Daily News, as well as, I believe, Baseball America, talked about the 2 home runs there from Aaron Nola, but also talked about the 6 through 9 spots in the Phillies order. In game 1, they were 0 for 13. In game 2, they were 2 for 15. In game 3, through the 6th inning, I believe it was, they were 0 for 6. That's a stretch of 2 for 34. He does the math for us, fortunately. That's a .058 batting average. The 6 through 9 hole hitters. Not going to win a postseason. I would agree with that. The Philadelphia Eagles, as I mentioned, they're back in action. They're going to get things going again this week, and I look forward to it, believe it or not. Today, Nick Sirianni addresses the media at noon. Then the players will be speaking to the media at 2:10. They'll practice at 3:05. Then Jalen Hurts talks to the media about 4:45 today. So that happens. I look forward to getting an explanation on what was going on with Devin White. The Eagles released him yesterday. He was a guy that came into training camp ready to party as far as wanting to be a team leader, wanting to revamp his career, and it never happened. And as we came to find out, Nakobe Dean took over that starting linebacker role over him, which was a little surprising because I didn't think the Eagles would make that deal with Devin White if it wasn't for, if they thought Nakobe Dean was ready to take it over, but Nakobe Dean took it over. And Nakobe Dean hasn't been great. 2 good games, 2 bad games. Devin White couldn't even sniff the field. All right. So he's gone. We got the good news 2 days ago that Lane Johnson, Devontae Smith, as well as A.J. Brown are going to be back for this game against the Browns. The Browns don't look to be particularly good at football, so that helps the Eagles' cause and trying to at least come back from the bye week as winners at 3-2. So let's keep our fingers crossed for that one. But overall, the number one thing that I need to see, and I've said this before, but the number one thing I need to see, I know play calling is a thing, and I know Nick Sirianni's influence is certainly a thing, and his decision-making is absolutely a thing. But if Jalen Hurts could just stop turning the football over, this Eagles team would be in a much better place. It's the number one thing I need to see, them coming out of the bye week. Stop turning the football. It looks like I'm going to get what I really wanted, which is everybody healthy, the most important thing. Sidney Brown talks about how he's feeling good. Like to see him get some opportunities there. The practice windows open up for him off the PUP list. Good to see that. Cooper DeJean, I've mentioned many times, looks like he's getting an opportunity to be the starting slot corner in place of Avonte Maddox. Let's get it going, Cooper DeJean. But if your quarterback keeps turning the football over, talk about no consistency for the offense in terms of putting up points, but that's a big hitch in the giddy-up is a turnover. So go Birds, I guess. I do look forward to hearing what Nick Sirianni has to say about changes. And I know, one of the questions is going to be, hey, with the early bye week, you have a chance to kind of look at the season and go, all right, what can we do here? We're 2-2. What can we improve upon? And one thing that we talk about a lot is the possible frustration of Jalen Hurts with his head coach. One thing we don't talk about, because, Nick Sirianni is still here. He hasn't been Robert Saleh just yet. But one of the things that we talk about is how Jalen Hurts must be frustrated with Nick Sirianni. Okay. No one ever talks about how Nick Sirianni might be frustrated with Jalen Hurts. And it's funny because we're all frustrated with Jalen Hurts. Like, the turnovers can't happen. Like, that's just, you can't. The hero ball can't happen. The terrible decisions can't happen. The thing that gives me confidence that Jalen Hurts will find his way out of this is that these are very correctable things. Like, when you think about it, the situational football, very correctable. Like, oh, it's first down. I don't have to be Superman here. I could get a yard maybe. Or I could check it down to a running back and he could get me 3 yards, whatever. Not, I got to throw the ball in the middle of the end zone on first down from the 16-yard line. No, you don't need to do that. You don't need it. First down. You got plays to be made. It's not like his mechanics, I feel, are off where he's just throwing the football away. It's just decision-making. Pockets collapsing on third down and you're in field goal range. Maybe not wind up and let the ball get forced out of your hand. Maybe not do that. It's a correctable thing. It's situational. But then again, you could also think of it from another perspective where it could also be damn near impossible, because that's changing a mentality. That's changing a mindset. When I first saw Jalen Hurts go through as his second year as a starter, I didn't see a guy trying to play hero ball. I saw a guy who had the ability to go into that mode, but he was smart enough to not do it. And when he did try to go for a big run, he got out of bounds. He slid. And I'm like, oh, he's not Carson Wentz. This is really good. And then, unfortunately, he's looked a lot like that with the hero ball stuff over the last 2 years. And all the mistakes and all the problems that the Eagles have had defensively and offensively, Jalen Hurts is the guy that's trying to solve it all on his own, and you just can't do that. My rooting interest will go into this, that A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith will be enough for Jalen Hurts to be like, all right, just get the ball to those guys and I'll be good. As long as he doesn't do that on a 1st and 10 in the red zone, where he really, I really got to get it to them. And then that's when the interception or that's when the turnover happens. Well, then we'll be okay. As long as he doesn't do that. Live to fight another play. And get the points. If I have to say anything to Nick Sirianni, especially in the early goings of the game, I'm taking the points. Nick Sirianni. All right. Yeah, all right. Let's say the Phillies do play Friday in South Philly. You know how you can get tickets? The Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code Farzy, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. That's right. They also have the Game Time Picks feature, which is fantastic, by the way. Download the Game Time app and use Game Time Picks so you understand exactly what you're getting. You can filter out all the fluff with the Game Time app and get right to the best seats at the best prices on the Game Time app. So download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code Farzy, get $20 off your first purchase. Don't forget to toggle the all-in pricing feature as well. Hit that feature. You know what that does for you? It lets you know exactly what you're paying before you check out. So there's no sticker shock at the end. Whoa, how'd these $20 tickets become $30? No. You know the price before you check out with the all-in pricing feature on the Game Time app. So download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code Farzy, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Game Time app. One more time before I get... PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. One more time, Nick Castellanos before we get to the chat.
Well, as a group, this is the closest to death we're ever going to get. So in a way, we should feel the most alive. We're only promised tomorrow, and this is what we've been working since spring training for, to have this opportunity. And it's just one more time to show out and leave everything on the field, and however the dice is going to land, it's going to land.
the Svengali of philosophy with the Philadelphia Phillies. Tate Jeffries leads it off for us here on the chat check. What's up, Tate? Everything still pales in comparison, to wasting Wheeler's start. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But when you got a flat offense, that's kind of nerve-wracking because it's going to be the same offense essentially with a couple of tweaks here and there from Tinker Topper. But by the way, I know Bryson Stott has been terrible at 234 against lefties. His defense has been spectacular though. If you're gonna have like Bohm's not all of a sudden gonna be better. Like that's what I just don't get. So if he is what he is right now, then he's got to sit on the bench. Like if he's a 170 hitter, then he's got to sit on the bench. And Mundo Sosa against lefties, you might see the situation today with Sosa at third and Stott at second. So at least you get that defense in there. Tate Jeffries, thank you again. Daniel, hello, morning. Tate, good morning. I like the comment and then the good morning, Tate. Thank you. James Alexander III, good morning, Farzi. That was a total embarrassment last night. They need to hit the ball much better. I concur. And have some intensity today. I hope so. Urgency, maybe? Ken Sa, this is an easy fix. Every Phillies that choked during the biggest series this year should be traded. Chokers aren't what we need. We need the stars that are allegedly we need the stars that allegedly they are. Choke. Harper ain't going anywhere. Turner ain't going anywhere. Schwarber ain't going anywhere. Castellanos still ain't going anywhere. And here's the other thing. It's not like they're all of a sudden going to change their mental approach. Like we talked about with Jalen Hurts just a second ago. It's not like all of a sudden, like, what is Rob Thompson going to come into the clubhouse today and be like, all right, guys, K. Long and I have been working on this thing, okay? Bohm, you really pay attention to this, okay? Here you go. We're going to take pitches. Schwarbs, you know about this, all right? Don't swing at the first pitch. Schwarbs, we know you're going to do it on the first pitch of the game. Everybody else, at least you know how to work it at bat, Schwarbs. But everybody else, we are not going to swing at the first pitch. We're going to take pitches. We're going to, what's the word, K-Long? Patience. Be patient. That's what we're going to be. Thank you. Good morning, Sean Kilrain. Joe Wilson Arena. Hello. We're cursed. I still don't believe that we're cursed. Sean Kilrain. It was 5 pitches. What? Raffy, you mean? 5 pitches. Sit your ass on the bench today. And balls to blame someone in the dugout for it. So I heard them talking about, after I heard them postcast, I went up and I was watching Michael Barkan. And, oh, by the way, if I didn't say it already, sound courtesy NBC Sports Philadelphia. I watched Barkan. I watched Ricky and Ben and Ruben. And Bohm just looked pissed off to me. And I saw the story come out about how he was blaming someone. Not the story that comes out about them blaming anybody else, but so did somebody just try to draw that conclusion? I just thought he looked frustrated. I didn't think he was trying to blame anybody. Oh, jeez. 8 pitches he's seen since being benched in 6 plate appearances. That's not exactly good. Yeah. I haven't seen anything come out, but I know people have assumed it. Ken, thank you. What's happening? Again, let's get a team of Americans. That's funny. QB. What's up, QB? April. Good morning, April. That game was a poop emoji show. I agree. Stop eating her. Brutal year to be a Philly fan. Yeah, it ain't great. It's over, Johnny. Put him in a body bag. JB, Morning Farzy, love the show. Keep telling it like it is. JB, thank you. That's all I got, man. My honest approach. All year, we worried about the bullpen. Hey, remember that time, April, where MLB.com was like, Philly's going to have the best bullpen in baseball. And we're all like, I wouldn't be so sure about that. And then they blew like the first game of the year. They're terrible. Remember that game where they had 2 blown saves in one game? That's hard to do. Gregory Soto, Jose Alvarado. We Cooked says, thank you. Phillies need a stronger manager. I'm hoping Ranger Danger Velocity is back up again, says Sean Kilrain. We're good. We leave, men. It's a wrap, Farzy. I'm hoping Rangers Velocity is back up again. I don't know. Whoa, Jack Dwight. Phillies will win this series. What? Jack? There's no room for optimism. April agrees with both Sean's. That's funny. Fuji! What's up, Mike Fuji? Tonight is the night that we see if this team has character. Ken Sod says the Phillies lose 6-3 tonight. Nerd reference? Did I miss something here? Oh, there's Sean Gillespie. Topper has to go if the Phillies lose this series. He can only take the team so far. I unfortunately do not think that Rob Thompson's going to be gone. I think Rob Thompson's staying right where he is. Why Niners? Why? Good morning, Farzy and friends. What's happening? Who else wants Lurie to pull a Woody Johnson, right? I wanted him to do that before the bye. What's going on? To all teams, the Mets, it's the pitchers and the hitters. They choking bad. Fair enough. Maverick 1 wants Jeremiah Trout Jr. to start. Maverick 1. Hey, Farzy, if the Eagles lose, do you think Sirianni gets fired? If they didn't fire him at the bye week, then I don't know what they're doing. Are they just going to keep on keeping on with this? So to answer your question, no. If they get blown out, maybe. But again, then why didn't you just do it at the bye week? You had a week to regroup and come up with another plan. Jack Dwight, Hurts doesn't have the talent to be elite. I totally disagree. He absolutely has the talent to be elite. He is right now. The mind is getting in the way of the talent. But you're right. Yeah, his slow and long. He does have a slow and long. It's not his strong point. I will say that. Top poops the bed. That's funny. Go Sixers. Hey, what's up, Go Sixers? It's a bad version of Groundhog's Day without Bill Murray, right? Kyle Wright, bring on the Sixers. Absolutely. Hey, Sir Sketchable. I actually caught Farsy's morning show live. Topper can't make these dudes hit or take a pitch for once. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. That's pretty terrible, Sir Sketchable. That's my thing. I don't have as much of a problem with Rob Thompson as maybe some other people do. Phillies, again, are not hitting. This is exactly what we saw last year against the Diamondbacks to end the season, to end the postseason, to end their year. Not hitting. Topper destroyed the bullpen. Absolutely destroyed the bullpen. Craig Kimbrell pulling Christopher Sanchez as early as he did in that series against the Diamondbacks. That was terrible. No, inexcusable. That's on Topper. But overall, the Phillies hit. Topper doesn't have to worry about these little buttons he's trying to push. So that's what's so incredibly frustrating about it. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful. Let's get to the morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. Phillies play tonight. Ugh. Ranger Suarez pitches tonight. Ugh. Jose Quintana goes for the Mets. At least we have that. 5:08 start time. I say they're done. I say they're cooked. And I say the Phillies lose tonight. 4-2. I'm sorry, 3-2. I'm gonna say 1-run game. Agony. Ranger pitches well. Bullpen is okay. But agony. They lose tonight. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you guys being along for the ride. Wine Niners wine. Flyers look decent. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the Flyers. They're a young team. Kyle Wright will be at the driving range. I'm jealous. Don Vito. What's up, Don Vito? Alec Boehm swinging at every first pitch is certainly not infuriating. Yeah, right. Another lifeless effort by the Phils. We're having a great time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show. Presented by the wonderful people at the Game Time app. Thanks, everyone. Catch you guys tomorrow. And catch you guys tonight on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia. I'll be there for your Phillies postcast tonight. And then when the 76ers season starts up, I'll be there for your 76ers postcasts as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Back with you guys tonight on Locked On Sports Philadelphia and then tomorrow morning for the Farzy Show. See you.